the good old days. Those were the good old days. Years go by, but the memory stays. And those were the good old days.
Thank you so much for going down memory lane with me. Let me take you back and tell you a real funny story in some sorts. Go back down with me down memory lane in the playlist archives and in the vaults. So memory lane video number 10, a haircut situation. You get a little more insights as to what I may be speaking, a situation I'm going to be speaking of here in this particular memory lane video here. Like I said, growing up, us kids, us grandkids, my cousins Michelle, my cousins Joey, my cousin Lori, and myself, always loved spending time with Pap and Grandma. And as I mentioned in previous vids countless times, my cousin Lori lived with Pap and Grandma there. Her and her parents, my Aunt Sandy and my Uncle Alvin, of course we called him Uncle Ab. Anyway, when us kids would come down there, the girls, it was okay for girls to have long hair, but when the boys, me and my cousin Joey, had long hair, Pap used to really get uptight about it, and like I said, you go into playlist archives in the vault, memory lane video number 10, haircut situation, you'll get an idea as to what I may be speaking of. I'm not going to go into detail about that, because that's already been talked about. But anyway, I will say that, like I said, that Pap always felt that guys, if they had long hair, were sissies. That was Pap's thing, and Pap always thought that, you needed a jar head or a buzz cut, like an army cut. With him being, of course, in the military, Pap thought that every man should have a military cut or have his hair cut short enough to where, it wasn't a real bad thing. Because if you had your hair growing long, you were a sissy in Pap's eyes. Like I said, Pap took us down to me and Joey down to Ed Hartline's. Just every time we'd come down and our hair would be too long, boom, we'd go to Ed Hartline's immediately down there in downtown Bolivar. And as I said, me and Joey used to sing a song, Ed Hartline, he is a butcher, a butcher. Ed Hartline is a butcher, butcher to me. Something like that, along the lines of that. I don't know if that was the exact tune, but more or less that was how it went. That was the song we sang. But I don't know if Pap just gave up on it or he passed that whole haircut thing on to Aunt Sandy, because after Grandma had passed, Aunt Sandy had taken over the thing, and it was time for us to get haircuts. Aunt Sandy took us to Madge. Madge was over in Bolivar as well, and Madge and her husband Frank ran a local dairy, a little small like mom and pop type Dairy Queen thing. Just a little dairy place. Get ice cream and some real good food. Did Madge and Frank have? My cousin Lori had worked there a time back in the day as well, and as I said before, my cousin Lori had made some real good butterscotch shakes, thick, people, real thick to where they just made your tongue bleed, and that's the kind of shakes that I like, when shakes are really thick and they make your tongue bleed because you're trying to get the flavor of the shake, you're trying to get the shake to come out of the straw, and they make your tongue bleed. Love shakes like that. Anyway, nonetheless, my cousin Lori worked there, and when Frank had passed, my Uncle Gary, my Aunt Janet also come in and helped out Madge in that situation. But Madge was a beautician, not a musician, as one of her little plaque things said there in her little beauty parlor there, which was right next door to the Dairy Queen there. If you're standing in front of Dairy Queen, on the right hand side was Madge and Frank's place, and there on the downstairs area, or in the front there, Madge had her little beauty parlor. A bunch of the older ladies would go in there, but Aunt Sandy would go in there, and she would get me and Joey a haircut. And one thing that me and Joey used to hate was when we go there, Aunt Sandy and Madge would be talking about stuff, and Madge would be cutting her hair, and she'd be like, "Oh my word, is that right, Sandy?" And then she'd say something, she goes, "Oh, did he? Oh my word, Sandy. Oh my word." I mean, Madge, she had that little accent type thing, a whole country hick accent or something or another. But Madge was really funny, and Madge and Frank, had, like I said, had some real good food, and us kids used to ride our bikes or walk, which wasn't too far, maybe 4 or 5 blocks, give or take, from Frank's and Madge's little Dairy Queen place from the house down there at Bolivar. And Pap and Grandma's old house, and Uncle Ab's house after they passed. Like I said, anyway, we go down there, and we get that whole you feel the Dairy Queen. After Madge had passed, like I said, the Dairy Queen had shut down. The business was not going good at all, and business was really flat, and the place had closed down. I think either before or shortly before, if not a little bit after Madge had passed away. After Frank had passed, then Madge had passed away. Anyway, like I said, getting back to the detail hand, my cousin Joey and I, like I said, we used to sit there, and we were afraid with Madge going, "Oh my word, is that right that day?" We used to be afraid that Madge was going to really give us really a chopping. But I can say that Aunt Sandy wasn't like Pap. She didn't give us the buzz cut. She gave us the manly haircut. What a boy should look like back in the day. Joey and I even took a step further with the whole Madge thing. When we play our Hot Wheels or our Matchbox cars, we had a little station wagon, And Madge, I believe, at one point drove a station wagon, if I'm mistaken, or whatever. Nonetheless, I don't know if that was if she actually drove a station wagon. I'm thinking she might have. Anyway, we used to have a little Matchbox or a Hot Wheel car. It was a little station wagon, and we used to pretend that was Madge coming after us. Hey boys, time for your haircut. Oh my word, I'm gonna get your hair. Funny time, nonetheless. Like I said, it was Aunt Sandy's turn to take over the whole haircut thing after Papa decided, like I said, either give up, pass over. I don't know if he passed over to Aunt Sandy or what happened in that situation, but things at Heartline was all over with. Funny time, nonetheless. You definitely missed those great times. Missed Joey. Joey was, he was like a brother to me. He was special to all of us, to his sister, my cousin Michelle, to my cousin Lori, and me, and Pap, and Grandma, and all of us. Definitely miss Joey, definitely. Miss Pap as well, and miss those good times. But Memory Lane provides those good times. Thank you so much for going down memory lane with me. I'll catch you next time.